If you're new to Final Cut Pro, you've come to the right place. Today, we're doing a full beginner tutorial and you'll learn everything from importing your media to exporting your finished project. Let's not waste any more time and jump right in. When you first open up Final Cut Pro, you're greeted with a blank workspace divided into a number of different sections. To better explain what goes where, I'm going to skip ahead a bit and take you to a Final Cut Pro window with a finished project. Don't worry, after I explain Final Cut Pro's user interface, we'll come back to the empty window and fill it up ourselves. Up in the top left corner, you have your media browser. This is where all your video and audio clips live, ready to be added to your project. To make it easier to find the clips you need, your media can be divided into events. These are just containers used to organize your media, and you can set these up however works for you. You also have your media sidebar here with all your music, still images, and sound effects you have on your computer. I hardly ever use this, but if you need a still image from the Photos app or a song from your iTunes library you want to use in your project, this is where you'll find it. You can also find all the titles and generators Final Cut Pro comes with in the Titles and Generators sidebar, all organized into different categories to make it easy to find exactly what you need. On the right-hand side of the media browser, you have your viewer window. This is where you can preview and play back your clips either from the media browser or your timeline. Certain effects also come with on-screen controls you can adjust, and these will also be displayed in your viewer window. In the top left-hand corner, you have your inspector window. Here, you have a video inspector, where you can adjust any video properties of your clips, color inspector for color grading and color correction, an audio inspector for adjusting the audio properties of your clips, and an info inspector where you can see the summary of your clips information. This includes the video resolution of your clips, frame rate, video codecs, and much more. At the bottom of the Final Cut Pro interface, you have your timeline. Most of your time spent in Final Cut Pro will be down here, editing your project. The editing process in Final Cut Pro consists of 6 steps. Let's go back to our blank window and start with step 1, importing your media into Final Cut Pro. Before you can do anything with your project, you first need to transfer your media from your device like an iPhone or your camera's memory card into Final Cut Pro. There's a few different ways you can do this. The easiest way to get your media into Final Cut Pro is to simply drag and drop it into your media browser. Simply open a Finder window, navigate to the folder that contains your media, select all the clips you want to use, and drag and drop them into your media browser. Another way to get your media into Final Cut Pro is by clicking on the Import button in the top left corner. In the pop-up window, navigate to the device your media is on, select your clips, and click the Import button to bring them into Final Cut Pro. After importing all your media, our next step is to organize everything. Now, a lot of people skip this step, but taking a few minutes to review and organize all your media can save you a ton of time. What I like to do is organize my media into different events or containers for different types of media. Right-click anywhere in the sidebar and make a new event. We'll call this one video. Click on your library name to see all your media again. Command-click all your video clips and drag them over to your new event. Repeat these steps with your music, your sound effects, still images, and any other media type you may have. Another super useful tool in organizing your media is the ability to favorite and reject clips. This is where you can go through and review your clips in the media browser, pick your favorites, and reject any clips you know you don't need. Skim over any clip in your media browser to preview it, and if you like the clip and want to make sure it gets used in your project, select it and use the keyboard shortcut F to make this clip as your favorite. The clips you mark as favorites will be highlighted with a green line at the top of the clip's thumbnail. You can also favorite specific parts inside a clip. Skim through your clip, and at the start of the segment you want to mark as favorite, press I on your keyboard to set the in point. Move to the end of your segment and press O to set the out point. The part of the clip you selected will be highlighted with a yellow frame. Press F to mark this part of the clip as your favorite. You can also select and mark entire clips or parts of clips you know you're not going to use by marking them as rejected. To reject a clip, select it in your media browser and press the delete key on your keyboard to mark this clip as rejected. This rejected clip will be highlighted with a red line at the top of the clip's thumbnail. You can reject entire clips, or like before, certain parts by using the I and O keys to set the in and out points and rejecting the selected range with delete. Go through all your clips, review them, and favorite or reject entire clips or just specific parts. If you're unsure about a clip, just leave it alone. When done, in the top right corner of your media browser, you get a few view options. If you choose Hide Rejected, Final Cut Pro hides all the clips you marked as rejected. This will be the view you use most of the time. You'll still see all the clips you might need for your project, and the clips you favorited will be highlighted with a green line at the top. If you select the Favorites view, Final Cut Pro filters all your media and just shows you the clips or parts of clips you marked as favorite. If you have a lot of clips you're working with, this can be super useful. To show all your clips again, select the All Clips view. With your media organized, it's time to start editing your movie. In Final Cut Pro, this is called a project. To make a new project, click the New Project button in your timeline, or if you don't see it, use the keyboard shortcut Command-N. In the pop-up window, name your project, and select the event you want to store it in. Next, choose a resolution for your project. So if you're making a video to upload to YouTube, set this to 4K or HD. If you're making a video to share on a mobile platform, you can set this either to vertical or square aspect ratio. Let's set ours to 4K. For frame rate, if possible, select the same frame rate as your clips are shot in. In North America, this will either be 24 or 30 frames per second. Click OK to make your project. The next step is to select clips from your media browser and add them to your project. The simplest way to do this is by dragging your clips straight down into the timeline. Select one or more clips in your media browser and drag them down into your timeline to add them to your project. Your clips will be magnetically connected to each other with no gaps in between. To preview your clips, simply use your cursor to skim over your clips or press spacebar to play your project in the viewer window. To rearrange the order of your clips, just select the clip you want to move and drag it over to where you want it. With a magnetic timeline, Final Cut Pro moves other clips out of the way to make room for the clip you're moving. You can also layer clips in Final Cut Pro by adding clips below or above your timeline. If you layer video clips, only the clip that's on top is visible, while audio from both clips can be heard. This is useful if you want to have your audio from your main clip playing, such as the person talking, while adding B-roll on top to show the viewer what the person is talking about. If you layer audio clips, all the layers can be heard at the same time. Audio-only tracks, like background music or sound effects, are normally connected below your timeline. So if you grab an audio track you want to use for background music and add it below your timeline, when you play back your project, both the music track and the audio from your video clip will be heard. After you arrange your clips in the timeline, it's time to fine-tune the cut points. The default edit in Final Cut Pro is called a ripple edit. This adjusts the clip's start and end points without leaving a gap in the timeline. Move your mouse cursor over the start or end of your clip, and your cursor changes from a pointer to a trim icon. To trim your clip, click and drag the start or end point to shorten or lengthen your clip. The clips attached to this edit point are rippled accordingly. If you need to make a cut in your clip, open the Tool drop-down menu and select the Blade tool. Move your skimmer to the frame where you want to make the cut and click. Your clip will be split into two individual clips. A much easier and quicker way to cut a clip is by using the keyboard shortcut Command-B. Just move your skimmer over a frame where you want to make the cut and press Command-B on your keyboard to split your clip into two. You can now ripple trim, or if necessary, delete each individual clip. To add titles or text to your project, go back to your media browser and select the Titles and Generators sidebar. Select the title preset you want to add to your project, drag it down into your timeline, and add it above your video clip. Most title presets that come with Final Cut Pro come with a transparent background, so you'll still be able to see the video clip under the text. To replace the text, double-click the title in the viewer window to select the text and type out your own title. Over in the inspector window, you can change the font, size, color, and many other parameters to make this title look exactly the way you want. To adjust the duration of your text, just ripple trim the start or end points of your title clip in your timeline. By default, the cuts between your clips in your timeline are what's called hard cuts. Your one clip ends, and the following clip starts playing immediately after it. To soften this cut, or even stylize it a bit, Final Cut Pro comes with quite a few transitions. To add a transition between your clips, select either the end point of your current clip or the start point of the following clip and open the Transitions browser by clicking this button here. Select the transition you want to use and move the skimmer over it to preview the transition. Once you find the one you want to use, select it and double-click it to add the selected transition between your clips. Now, instead of a hard cut, you have this nice smooth transition between your clips. Now that your project is complete, it's time to share your masterpiece. To export your project as a movie file, go up to the top right corner of the Final Cut Pro window and hit the Share button. You'll get a pop-up with a number of different share presets. Yours might be a bit different than mine, but you should see an Export File preset. Select it, and in the next window, select the Settings tab. If you want to upload your video online, you'll want a manageable file size. So open the Video Codec drop-down menu and select H.264. This will export your clip as an MP4 file that's widely compatible, retains great quality, and doesn't take up too much drive space. Hit Next and select the destination for your movie. Click Save to export your Final Cut Pro project as an MP4 movie file you can share with your friends or upload to an online platform of your choice. This was just a general overview of how to make a movie in Final Cut Pro. There's a ton more you can do with it. Honestly, you can, and some people have, edit a full feature film just in Final Cut Pro. If you're just starting out, my best advice is to start a simple edit, and as you come up with ideas on how you can make it better, try and figure out how to do it in Final Cut Pro. There's a ton of videos on YouTube that can help you if you're ever stuck. Thanks for watching. I'll see you back here next week.